Hi. Okay, let's come into work from yesterday. Let me check something. Is this done correctly? I think it should be. Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, it's fine. Maybe. Nope. Oh, that wasn't a jump scare. Anyways, that works. I kind of hate like after free being like this. I don't really want to enforce you to use time as a type. I don't really know if it's that valuable. Maybe it is. Hmm. Because this is like game time, right? And we maybe would also want, we probably want like a native function for real time. Although with that I have to be careful because we would not want to use it really. Because there's always a desync. So probably instead what I would do is like, I don't know. Probably would rather expose some like benchmarking utilities instead of just time. So I don't want you to like I don't want this to ever reference real time for like the actual logic, and it's probably better to just not have that because that just means we can't like create a desync accidentally. People that use the language. Okay, well let's see what we have here. Okay, so these are pretty important. It's actually maybe not. There are lots of issues. Okay. Expect is probably just absurd, really absurd. Say add support for native. So what would you say? Random ticks. Say benchmarking. Don't want time real time to be a value though. To avoid these things. Benchmarking, and one other thing is assert. Just like a test, right? Assert might actually just be a keyword, I don't know. That's gonna be removed. Okay. Let's work for native functions maybe. I kinda need to do all of them free. And also this. This one's probably easy. Think all we need to do is iterate. Okay, so it is something like this, right? And now switch. If no statement, we just return as always. And now I would say to probably just queued always, right? On the end. Statement, and now depending on the type statement. Actually, we don't do that, but what we do is we check case statement type, function declare. That's when we do that, right? Queue function maybe is what we will do instead. I will say here is I will queue the statement compiler statement just like that. We'll also do this here. Okay, and now what we also do is have scopes. And here we just need to read. Yeah, so this actually should just now work again, be sure. Not really, no. As you have other scope types. It's kind of stupid, honestly. So you need everything that can execute on a statement, right? Anything that recursively contains a statement is what we have to operate over. Basically, anytime we see compile statement, we would do that. Does kind of suck architecturally that we just keep having to write those switch cases for recursive iteration. It's like, would it be nice to just instead have like visit statements or something? Maybe we don't do that often enough. We probably do for the resolution, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of difficult to architecture that smartly in C, I think. Yeah, I think what this actually does is that we could now say my print I think we can now do this, basically. Yeah, definitely shouldn't do that. That's interesting because it seems that this function was compiled first before, like, the more or less the one. It's very interesting. It shouldn't be the case. So let's see what our task queue is. One thing I really fucking hate about one thing I really hate about linked lists is how hard to inspect they are in like Visual Studio. But I don't think any one of them is actually. So this is a declare. And the next one is also a declare. Next one is declare. And okay, there's 4 globals it seems. Okay, now let's see what happens. We have this statement, and this statement is declare func, and it's the main function, right? So now it added the task to the list. Okay. So now compiler task, right? What is the last task? It's a declare func, and it's my print. Yeah, what that means is that we don't currently resolve the... Maybe all I do is... Interesting. So how do I do this? Declare function type. See what happens in a non-global scope kinda situation. So this is slot 3. Okay. Okay, so what I want to look at now is look at the actual compilation of statements. So now the task type and now task statement declare function is what I'm looking for, and also task statement type is what I'm looking for. And I guess this specifically I'm looking for the name. Okay, we have main. And we have my print. Everything I'm looking for is the slot. It's not an ask, it's a task. Slot 3. Huh. Huh. So why are we broken exactly? Why do we push this here? That's an interesting decision. And maybe what I say is an exit or in. Says hello. It's very interesting. So maybe calls are broken, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. Because I think if I just move this print here, right, like this, actually just work. Yeah, it does. So let's actually go to the runtime. Let's step through this. Let's see what we get. And our first opcode is opcode data. Makes some sense. Print, pop, return. Huh. Huh. Interesting. So what we get here is basically we get it executed. And only yet. That's so weird. So when we create, when we make the runtime, we just always set the IP to 0, right? It's not like we accidentally It's not like we accidentally set the IP to the wrong function because we expect 0 to always be the entry point. Well. So then if I log into the compiler, so what do we have here? Tasks. So what we are looking for is program data. Data, actually. Or actually, no, this is program arena data, like this. And actually, not that we are looking for code. Say charger. This is a declare. I guess another thing I don't want to look at is just program code arena pause. Okay, so now we compile the main, right? Okay. Because I don't want to see hex 182. Nice fucking capacity, by the way. Know how much that is? That's like 4 gigabytes? What? Seems so wrong. What? So is how is capacity so high? Ah, it's because it's the total capacity. Okay, that's fine. Right. The comment capacity though is definitely way too high for what we need. So what we should be careful because this, yeah, this is just 1 megabyte, right? Probably should allocate 1 kilobyte at a time. So maybe how I do comment pause is like the accelerated or whatever. It's like I always would double the comment pause or something. I don't know. I do not understand this, honestly. What? Yeah, like, it didn't even write there. Oh. Oh, that's silly. I know what it is. It's because it recursively compiles the function anyways. Just need to say ignore functions. Or maybe I just say global, or no. Say none. Or functions, right? And what I do is I always just pass ignore functions. Right? They always just propagate the current thing. Okay, that does make a lot of sense. So I'm glad I figured it out. Ignore functions, ignore functions, ignore functions. Maybe what I do. No, because the wait. No, this is fine, I think. And then ignore functions here. And what I would say is when we compile a function, we would say true. And now if ignore functions is we'll just break in. We don't care about we don't compile functions recursively. Instead, we queue them after each other, maybe. Yeah, we queue them to be compiled after each other. Okay, and now here. And as I just started with false, because by default we want to compile functions, or we just don't want to do it recursively. And I think that fixes our issue. Yeah, okay. So we now have this. And now one thing that will be surprising if someone is actually following what I've been doing. So actually I'll be adding add function value type again. Would be an offset. This is kind of weird because it would also require. I'm not sure. It's technically if we are type checked. Yeah, so it would require some robust type checking. Yeah. Yeah, right. Because then on runtime, it's just an offset to the functions first byte functions first code byte, whatever, that's fine. But we need robust type checking for this. So it's good that we removed it because it's a completely different thing to do now. But doing function value types should be possible. We just need an actual. So first thing is add function type, which includes param types and return type. And one thing I would want to do eventually is like add multiple return value. Multiple return values for functions, right? That's like for way later. And so are those two, I think. Wait, where are they? Here, right? They are for way later. Yeah. Okay, explicit, implicit evaluate what can be evaluated yearly. That's probably a bit later. Let's have one is the syntax of for loops and implement them. I think maybe we just do for init cond after maybe for init condition, and it's just like post, maybe that's what I call it. Maybe we just do a C style one, but just without the brackets. That's really pretty good. We just would have to make sure that we correctly typescope the init, because we would want the init to be removed after the for loop, so it's actually popped. But yeah, that's definitely in. And also, and comma operator is what we need, and comma operator for multi assignment. Okay, there would be something like ij equals 1 2, or ij equals compute. Actually, I'll use a declare statement for this. Compute I and j. So this is how it would work. And compute I and j would be a 1 that returns multiple, right? So this is like a JI/Golang feature I would really want to have, but it's not very important right now. We have more important things. We have function nesting. That's good. When we're gonna... Oh, this is definitely not done. I don't know why. When I marked it. So native functions are something I really want to have, but I still not exactly sure how I will do them. Actually, I will take a quick break, so BRB. Okay. So now, I think... I should probably do this first, because we are already in this, like, headspace of, like, all of the async stuff. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow then. We're already in the mindset of like all of the wait until and after and every and like all the async control flow, and I think that will just allow us to One sec. I think this one I'll move out a bit. Probably here. But this will just allow me to add those to those async stuff because I think they can have those. I mean, every can. I guess that's the only one probably. That makes sense. Because it's an asynchronous loop. Maybe I should start documenting all the keywords. That'll probably be useful. Although most of them are intuitive because they're just like what C has, but some of them are less intuitive. And one thing I would want to do is, or rather note for later. Actually, by the way, this is probably this comma operator and also move semantics for return is not that hard probably. One other thing is resolve functions and consts first, so they can be made bound. It can be, yeah. So they, or rather, so they are like bound. That's something I want to have. Because right now, if you just do this, this is not gonna work. This is actually invalid. Resolver will cry that it's not a valid function. It doesn't have data about it yet. And it needs to have a call slot. So we implemented it so far. Yeah. Good. And now the way we would do continue and break. I'll have to. I will first do the compiler stuff for it. So they would say it's like current continue pause and current break pause. Right. And the weird thing is that it always is set to something. So what I probably need to do is make it S64. And now each time we compile a statement, we have to say compiler, current break pause is -1 and current continue pause is -1. And then what I think we'll do is we will say static u32 store continue, or rather push continue. Compiler. Yeah, what's up? I just did nested functions. And now I'm re-adding support for continue and break. Although I'm not yet resolving it. Although maybe I resolve it in the compiler. The way I did compiler is kind of weird. Because it has It has many steps. It has Lexer, Parser, Resolver, Compiler, and Runtime. And I guess the only one that is like non-standard is the Resolver. Although there are single pass compilers that do parsing and compiling in the same step. But the kind of annoying thing about Resolver is how much maintenance it actually needs. I used to have all the type checking in the parser, but the problem with that was that I wasn't able to do late binding of variables. So yeah, it was unfortunate. Had to do a resolver pass. And yeah, it's pretty insane. Not sure. I mean, the runtime is not really the compilation thing. It's just something that has to be there. But there's just so many steps, and I want this to be very robust and have all the error handling as necessary, and yeah, it's not super easy. Okay, so now push continue. What it will do? Maybe I make those. Maybe I just make those. Maybe I just make this like a stack, right? I'll say continue. Let's say stack, offset stack, right? And then we'll say count. We'll say offsets to 56. We'll say continue stack and break stack. Okay, I think this is going well. So now what I can do is I can say compiler and I can say offset stack and here I would say push compiler push offset, right? Now what this will do is stack. Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you came today anyways. It's pretty neat stuff. I think I'll just I have to like define. Where would I define this? But maybe I just say define offset stack cap to 56. I intend to do those. And now if stack count is greater or equals than offset stack cap, we return 0. And we say compiler error compiler needs to be a token, so we'll pass it here like token. I will explain this in a second. I'm kind of like talking to myself because I'm like trying to. I think it helps me to focus a bit if I just try to like vocalize what I'm thinking. Okay, and now like token here is also needs to be passed. But here, I need an error, and this would say compiler stack break or continue stack over run or something, or not enough space on break slash continue stack. I think what I need to do here also is I need to push this as an offset. Huh. Hmm. I will give this a try, and if it doesn't work, then we are just fucked. So this is an RTS game, RTS engine, and I'm writing a scripting language for AI. And yesterday you weren't here, but I did asynchronous stuff. So for example, this is an async thing that will only execute after a condition is met. This, for example, is a keyword that executes after 3 ticks. This will execute every 1 second. After 1 second, I'm sorry. This will like execute every 3 ticks. And there are also waits and wait untils. Waits until a condition is set. And there's also just straight up async, which just means make this non-locking or whatever. Make this segment non-locking. And what's interesting here is that you can actually also, or at least you should be able to say, maybe my print, right? No, it's great. Oh, it's just really loud. But yeah, you should be able to compile this too, I think. I have errors right now. Oh my god, what did I do? Created the wrong thing. Okay, and now this is it. Offset, yeah, okay. That does work, yeah. So basically, if you would say like my print waits and waits a second or maybe 1 minute, more extreme. If I would run it here, it would mean that we wait 1 second, we print hello, and we do all other things down there. But if we say async, that means we do those things immediately, and this is like asynchronous. So this wait 1 minute and print hello will happen on its own. Will not lock those operations from happening, basically, even though they are commented, by the way. But in this example, they wouldn't, right? So I think it's a pretty powerful set of tools for expressing what AI may want to do. I will need to add a lot of async functions for like them expanding, for them requesting units, for them like managing armies, but that's fine. The biggest thing is to have a structured language with types, I think, and with asynchronous support. And then adding all of the other stuff will just be the cherry on top. Yeah, that's true. It's pretty useful. This language doesn't have a weight. A weight is sort of implicit, so by default things wait, and if you say async, it means it's asynchronous. And function, any function can be called either synchronously or asynchronously. I think that's kind of better, but like maybe I mean in JavaScript it works a bit differently because if something is declared async, the function will then return a promise instead of the actual result. So that's why it has to be declared async. And I guess that makes sense, but in this case, we don't have promises. Probably not gonna care about the result of an async function, I don't think. And if we would, we wouldn't do it as an async, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. Although one thing that could be useful is like wait all. So maybe async. It's like async many or how would it work? So if you have like multiple things they wait on, although I don't think that's useful for AI, but if you have like AJ and K, and you are fetching like fetch data 1, fetch. So if we have like 3 different async calls, that might actually be useful to like wait all, right? It's like in JavaScript, yeah, promise all. That's useful, but I don't know if it's useful for this language. Is if I would just do this, right, it would be locking would wait. First do this, then this, then this. And sometimes we would want to just do all of them. And maybe in that case we say like async all. It's like a weird thing where we would say ijk equals 0, 0, 0, and then we would say I equals fetch data, j equals fetch data, k equals fetch data. I guess that could work, and then it would just mean that everything here is asynchronous. Not sure. And it doesn't even work with my approach. So I would actually need some kind of weight. Would kinda need something. Because right now when I spawn like an execution unit, I just don't they never talk again. It's made and they just like coexist. They don't have to talk to each other. And in this case it's like we await something from here, so maybe we just would say, well, I don't even know what I would say. Well, it doesn't really matter. Async many. This, and then they could communicate back. I don't know. AJK. But yeah, this is not gonna be used for this project, I don't think. It's not the kind of thing that we would need. And if we do it, it's not a priority anyways. Okay, let's try to support breaks. Jump if follows jump. Have to think about it because what I can do here is definitely say, yeah, I think so. seems to be working out correctly. One sec. Unfortunately, getting interrupted a bit, but what I would do here is I would just say like compiler, and I would say the stack is the continuous stack, right? Would say the token is a statement token, maybe, I don't know. And then the offset would be just be loop start, right? And then what we do is we pop the offset after here. We remove it. I don't know what I think should be happening. What I think should be happening is instead... I don't want this, like, offset stack. Yeah, I want this. So my original plan was better. So what I just say is, okay, so now what I think we'll be doing just say like the last component last. This is weird. Oh yeah, it's last break equals -1 and last continue equals this. Right. Maybe we don't even need those helper functions, and what we do is we say in the while loop, we just say compiler last continue, so we'll say ref continue equals this, right? Just restore it later. Compiler last continue equals pref continue, right? And we would assign the loop start here. And I was interesting about last break, sort of, is that it's not easy to do, because what we want this exit jump. You actually don't know where that address is. But I think I need to do instead make this do an always jump. Right, and jump, if true, would be success jump. And we would patch it. We would patch it here. No, this is the patch, and the patch would be here, success jump. Okay, and now I think what we need to do is make exit jump -1, so Maybe what this will be set and return the pointer and your 32 value. And what this does is you pref equals pointer, pointer equals value, and return pref. What do we do here is we say compiler last continue. We say loop start and we reset it, and now pref break is the same kind of thing. Last break. Hi, what's up? I've seen you have subbed to me, and I've seen your OpenGL renderer. That was pretty interesting to see. It's like fully 3D animated and all of that. I have to yet do a 3D game, and all of that interpolation and like animation interpolation and like the projection matrices and all of that is pretty interesting, but also pretty complicated, right? Okay, and I think what we do for pref break is just exit jump -1. This is all we need to do. Okay, and now for return signal, for signal break, we would say if compiler the last break is less than 0, we would say compiler break. I'm sorry, compiler error compiler. Now it's just say, well, I definitely need the token. I didn't say that it's an invalid break statement. Okay. And now what we do is we just make this segment push jump X. We already know where it goes. It goes, and it's unconditional jump, and it goes to the last break. And now the same goes for continue. It just uses continue, last continue here, and also last continue here. Okay. Yeah, you had a lot of interesting stuff. I wasn't able to look everything, but the one that's I've seen, like the one I actually clicked was the OpenGL renderer. And I saw you like click on the walls and like recolor them using ImGUI, and you also had lots of like you had a character actually animating and all, so it's pretty cool. Okay, I think we should have a continue statement now. So when we used to have like this really stupid while loop, don't have it. We'll say I is 0 while I is smaller than 10. We just I plus plus. And now if I is 3, then we continue. If I is 7, we break. And otherwise, we print the I. And I guess, yeah, that's fine. Should have a printout from 1 to 7. That's really interesting. Oh, of course. That's unfortunate. It's actually a fucking error. I should add more fucking error handling. And we are stuck, it seems. No, it doesn't even, Visual Studio doesn't even know where. Are we stuck? I mean, the reason it doesn't know is because it's in the wrong thread. Oh, you're waiting. That makes sense. We did this wait 1 minute thing for a demonstration. No, I didn't. That's why we were fucked. Okay, we get 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and we break on 7, right? Yeah, it works. It works. So we have continue and break for the while loop. It's a bit fucking dirty how, like, maybe not dirty, but it's like the code for it is a bit ugly, like this thing, right? And we also had to make the bytecode a bit worse. Because we added an unconditional jump. This could have just been 1 jump, but it's 2. So that's bad. Could just be 1 jump if false jump, but we wouldn't be able to handle break segment as easily. What I like about this like continue and break implementation though is that it's very like it's actually precompiled. It doesn't have any runtime thing on it. It doesn't. We don't have to like flag a stack of jump positions or whatever. It's just it just works straight up on the. It's straight up like pre-computed, right? The jumps and whatever. I'll say something like this, right? And when it's greater than 10, and then I guess we'll say I equals 0, and we'll say print iteration, and I'll say j plus 1. That's what we want. No, I don't increment j. J plus equals 1. Yeah. Okay, seems to work. Yeah, it just works. And it's really good. So I think where we could add in is in every. So I probably need to do is this, and now in every is where we would support this. Huh. I don't actually know how to break out of this without making it really dumb. Some I direct X11 warnings wonder they actually create issues. Anyways, this is every, and we don't actually have like Hmm. It's like one thing I could do is like it's just like have a list of like break jumps. To have like jump, pause, jump, pause. So for each break I would have like a jump and a pause in a list, right? And then I would like at this point I would patch all of those jumps, but that's not very efficient to do. So I'd rather not do that. Uh I also would rather not have like an explicit additional byte here, or rather two. I'm sorry, this is the function I'm looking at. Keep confusing myself. Uh, oh. Oh. Actually, this is funny. Because every is its own block, right? So all we can do is just exit the block. We can just exit that, if we call break. And continue would just be here, right? It would be the start. So what I would do here is I would say where do I have the while? It's here. So what I do here is like do this, and now brief continue will be the new continue will be the start, right? And what I get here is here what I would do instead of what I did there, I would just say long marks, I think. And if it is a long max like this, I would just say and break, right? Uh, where is it? It's a statement? Yeah, it's here, okay. So now, if compiler last break equals long max, we would instead... Well, long max is not what I was thinking. I want long max. Right, yeah. This is an offset that doesn't happen. Or maybe I just say -2 and -1 is incorrect. I'll also say that here equals -1. Although in this case we can just say 0. And in this case maybe we say or anything smaller than -2. Maybe that's unnecessary, but anyways. And here instead of doing jump, we would just push U8 and opcode of type opcode exit. We would want to release it at the end of this year, I think, but not sure. The biggest problem right now is the art, but we can probably handle it. And the engine, I want to refactor it to be more performant. It's not that performant, and I also want to refactor some of the like core game stuff because it's a bit bloated. Like the struct size for an entity is like 2 kilobytes, and it's really big. And most of that is like not even useful data. It's just like We technically wanted to like support 32 players at a time, or even more. So there are like arrays of size 32 that are just bloating in, or like orders being are like an array inside of the stripe instead of like a stack allocated list, arena allocated list. So yeah, that makes a problem. Okay, so we have long max, and instead we'll say -2 actually. And that's actually super wrong. Or is it? Yeah, I'll say S64 here now. And I should make it work. -2. Okay, yeah, that should make it work. Well, mostly me and Pronago. We are mostly working on it. And there are a few other people that help us. So the team is like 5 people, I think, but the most active are me and Pronago. The rest doesn't really have that much time at this point of the year, I guess. So okay, now what I want to see is like my global is free. I say maybe in this case I say my global is free. I continue, and 7 I say break. Yeah, that does seem to work. Although the continue doesn't seem to have worked. Well, we actually want 63 players because the reason for that is because one player is a neutral player, so that's reserved, and the rest 63 we can use for bitwise flags. So that's kind of silly, maybe a silly thing to limit the game around, but that was the like. In theory, we probably wouldn't pay that much to support 63 players. It's just obviously we'll see in practice how it works with networking, and also like we have seen that it bloated the entity strength a lot. Although that's like a different kind of issue, I think. Yeah, it's mostly just a poor decision to put some things into the strength where they shouldn't. But yeah, we would want a high skill game. Like, did you guys what games did you guys play? So we mostly play Brood War, and in Brood War, the biggest size is this like 256 by 256. It's like it's not small, I guess, but we would actually want to at least double that size in each direction. Actually, probably even quadruple it. So 1,000 tiles, but 1,000 tiles would be neat. It says we'll see. The engine technically currently doesn't have a limitation for size, but it kind of does have a soft limit because the game just starts to lag at some point. And some things, some of the older code in the engine is not that fast, I'd say. I think we are working on this engine for like 2 years now. It's like, or maybe it's just the second year is what I'm thinking of. But, you know, it's an ongoing project. Initially, we wanted to make it like a RTS augmented MOBA. So you'd like play as heroes, but you would have AI allies that are actually RTS players that would like save waves and actually like play the game. Maybe I should actually open like a map. So let's see, like a 4 versus 4. So this is like an old map I made. As the max size, you have like some bases. You have 4 players, you have like many bases, many pathways. But it's like, it still feels like a map. It doesn't feel like a world, right? So we would kind of want that worldly feeling, I think, where it actually feels like a part of a bigger picture, not just like a fucking vertical slice or whatever. So yeah, okay. I also curious how I could make this debuggable. If I could make this actually work, the breakpoints, that would be nice. Not sure. But what I'm seeing here is that I don't see my continue. Oh yeah, right. It's because of the order of execution here. So yeah, it correctly works. Let's go. Maybe all of them should use break instead of return, but that's kind of silly. Maybe all of them should use break and return? Not sure. Maybe not. Maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah, I used to play the game, but I started hating it at some point because it just didn't feel good to play. I was really abandoned. And the single player content was really bad, I would say. Especially, like, I've learned over the years what can be done with an RTS, so it made me less enthusiastic about the already existing games for sure. But and the scale of planetary annihilation. So what Pronago describes this as is he wouldn't want the scale to be unearned. He would want the individuality of all units to matter. But he would also want the scale. So it's like trying to do both. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Planetary Annihilation, from what I've seen, it's really it starts to feel like a grand strategy game instead of a real time strategy. But and also with like this thing with like the minimap where you have like triangles instead of actual units, just starts to feel really less gamey than it really is. Like it starts to like feel like a spreadsheet or whatever. Okay, but I would say that continue and break are now added. And what else? What can I do before I have to go? I think I will do 4 loops, honestly. We'll just do init count and post. Okay, so now I need to do. So when we parse the while loop, also parse the for loop. Yeah, we already even have this. So that's interesting. But let's do this. Have 4 init and post. Right. And now what do we do? So we almost do this, right? But we kind of don't. We do a bit more. Because we would say read condition. We would read. So this is a 4. He told me yesterday he's working in AAA. But I don't know if he's like a designer or just a developer or whatever. So we'll say condition, init, and post. And what we'll also do, we'll say Elixir expect token. And that token will be semicolon. Next token type semicolon. Say expected semicolon after condition expression in for loop, right? And we'll say the same here. We'll say after the init expression. Say parser lexer. Actually, I don't need to do that because all I need to do for a while loop is like I probably want the scout, but I don't need a condition. Yeah, I can definitely say that Dexter has some interesting, complex stuff that I didn't yet work on myself. So it's definitely pretty epic. Uh, well, I applied today to Motorola. We'll see how that goes. And I'm working daily on this game. There's gonna be a 7 type kind push no, right? Gonna be what it is. So if there's no expression, we would say, let's say expression pointer. Kind of silly. I'll say there's no actual expression pointer. We'll say this. We'll say or rather, I say default to push no parser. Say push no. Or maybe this is just push true. I did. I did have like a reception. I went for like a reception thing. I didn't really like the offer. It was too little money for too much work, basically, and also very like that would be fine if not that it also demanded me to really fuck my schedule. So I probably wouldn't be able to daily stream. I probably would be very tired on some days. So and I thought I would rather do a programmer job if I'm meant to be like if it's not like a high pay anyways. I'd rather do something I can potentially do from home, right? Instead of no, this is actually known as man. This is an expression. Well, I pretty much expect that I'm not gonna get a job that pays me proportionally to what I can do, but that's fine. If at least I can learn something and not have to like work like all day every day, that's fine. So this is push through actually. Default to push through. We'll say this parser. I'll say this, right? Okay, and then the same goes here for the while loop. So basically what I'm doing is, so if you just say while, right? This just means while true. This is the same thing. We just default this to true. And same if we say like for semi. This would also just be a forever loop. And I have to push something anyways, because if I don't push anything, it's actually an error, because I would pop one value too much from the stack, so it would just, the entire program would collapse. Anyways, this actually needs to be a for scope instead of while scope. Okay. And what I would really want to have, honestly, is have a warning level that actually tells me what switch stuff I'm missing. How many warnings? 600. That sucks. And the thing that sucks the most is actually it doesn't even tell me. Okay. I don't think that's supported in MSVC, or maybe it's very hidden. Let's see. I'll try level 4. So many errors. Switch. Nice. Or maybe warning level all. What's funny about warning level all is that not even Windows and like libc work correctly with that warning level. Like they also produce warnings. Holy fuck, that's so slow. Guys? Yeah, see this. Exactly what I need. So C461 is what I want to enable. 4061. The problem is that DirectX doesn't have those either, so I'm just fine. I don't know. I kind of wish I enabled some higher like warning level before. Warning level 1 I think is fine. Let's see 2. So WebDev is interesting because it's mostly I think I named this like a difference between coding and programming. Programming is actually, at least in my mind, programming is actually coming up with the solution from ground up, from scratch, actually solving the problem yourself. And coding is just reusing stuff that's already there. So web dev has a lot of things with just architecture. And also just the lots of libraries. Okay. Yeah, so with web dev, if you want to have a button, you just fucking say button, and you like wire up an on-click here, and you like close it, right? And you say hello, and then you can style it in CSS and say like button, like color red or whatever. And it's just already there. You don't have to learn rendering. You don't have to do anything like that. Okay, so let's actually have push through as a default. So we'll say like maybe that's just a generic. And what I will do here is push through. Which is in the runtime, it would be after late async, I think, is where I put it. Say push through, and all this is making a runtime value type of runtime enter. I'm not really fond of the fact that all runtime values are tagged union. I'd rather just have them be the size that they are and not have a type tag, because since we type resolve on the if we resolve on the resolver stage anyways, then we should not need to care here, really. Like, it should just be compiled to the opcode level. Like, opcode should say, like, add integers or something. I think that would work. But currently, it's simplifying. Then we'll say exact value, and that's it. I probably can also add, like, defaults. Also add a false, just if we need it. And now in compile, when we compile a statement type of push through, we just say, or rather this is an expression, so we'll say, here we'll say push through. I have like something for constants. This is push data. Should probably make a more advanced thing for this, but which would automatically like output you like push through or push false automatically if it has 1 or 0. What exactly do you mean by microservices, by the way? 'Cause I don't exactly remember what that referred to in context of web dev. Could be meaning a few things. Probably it's probably backend related, or maybe it's browser related. I don't remember. First, yeah, I have a lot of noise in my house today. It's really fucking annoying. But yeah, let's compile a for statement. Or rather, let's resolve it first. So let's see a while loop. While we'll say for. Okay, so the resolution is really fucking simple, thankfully. And now in compiler, what I will do is I will copy the while loop. Case 4. Actually, just give me 1 sec. I need to do something in resolver. I actually need to push type scope here. Type. It's like push scope. What do I do? Oh, it's a make type scope. We say this, and we just pass it there. This. Now we also need to unwind it. Wind type scope, resolver. New type scope. And what this will guarantee is that the init statement can be read by all of those, and that init statement can actually be a thing. And what's interesting here, this actually needs to be a statement instead of an init. So resolve statement. And say false. Let's compile, let's see what errors do we get. For some reason they're all hidden, and it's because they had case written in there. As will be read statement. And actually I'm definitely only interested in... I'm just interested in identifier statements. Well, this is weird because what I am interested in is read or init statement parser. I'm interested only in few things actually. I'm interested in skipping all semicolons. Or no, actually I'm not interested in that. That's correct. I'm interested in identifier statements. And I'm interested in this. This is what I'm interested in. So expression statements are also sensible, but I don't expect a semicolon is the thing. Okay. And now I think what I can do is use that there. Instead of read style, I'll say for init statement, and okay. Yeah, it works. And now we are missing a semicolon. So that's everything. Everything on resolution path should be correct. I hope. And now in the while loop, all we need to do is compile this statement on compiler. Statement. How do we do this? We will do for and init, right? Say false. Do scoping here, right? Then that just means I need a pop n. Do I still have a pop n with underscore? I do. Okay, we'll rename that. The problem with that is I actually want... that's interesting. I don't think that can be correct. Oh, it can be right. Okay. But in this case, the pop n is just this. It's the statement for pop n equals the new timescope sp. Okay. Because we only additional thing that we need to resolve here is this init. Because what it could do technically is make the scope implicit, right? And then I wouldn't have to pop it twice. I myself don't, but maybe Dexter does. Yeah, let's see what microservices are. Oh yeah, this is all the cloud stuff, I guess. Users. No, yeah, I have never dealt with that, and it's interesting. Instead of having like a server backend, they say it's monolithic, you have microservices. That seems like this like weird trend to like fragment everything to be smaller. Is like what OOP likes to do. It's just one line functions and whatever. I guess the name for the fucking rule is single responsibility principle or whatever. It's like one of the worst principles that was ever invented. But well, whatever. I don't know enough about the topic to really talk about it, so we'll just not for now. Okay, and now in the compiler, what we can do is we can push. Let's say segment push pop n, and it will be code, and the pop n is statement for pop n. Okay. And now what I need to do is replace this while with for. And what I also need to do here is say compile expression for post, right? Okay. So now if that works, I would expect some things to work. Like I would expect to see for I equals 0, I is less than 3, I plus equals 1. I don't have plus plus yet as an operator, we'll have to add that. We'll say print I. And it doesn't work at all. Interesting. They compile this right. I'm kind of tempted to just like scope those so I know what part of the thing I'm working on, but okay. Well, OOP also wanted to do a lot of things right, and like it had good intentions and all, but people kind of like over applied it, and it became this disaster that makes everything super slow and super unreadable, super undebuggable. Okay, so what do we get? So we don't get a for loop, interestingly enough. Well, that's something I can look at later. But thanks for leaving that. I assume this is the thing you're talking about. We'll read that after the stream. Okay, so what I'm thinking is happening is that in the parser, the for is doing the wrong statement, but it's not, and it is returning. Let's see what we get. I wish C had better tact unions. Oh, that's interesting. I'm muted, XD. I don't know why anyone would use light mode. Uh, Anyways, I was mostly talking to myself this whole time. I guess I was also mentioning this is a flashbang, I know. But this is the thing that I think Dexter mentioned. I'll read that later. And yeah, I'm just fixing the for loop because it doesn't work somehow. And now post is of type identifier still. Oh, I see. So what I need there is I need a post and a rather for post statement. Yeah, I can link that. That seems to be the thing that Dexter has quoted. Okay, and now this would just be read for post statement, right? Post. That makes post a statement too. It's not something I expected. And the kind of statement it is It is either okay, we'll do that. And now this need to be compile statement. Yeah, this needs to be resolve statement. And that statement is really different because it's it shouldn't allow for most things. It should just allow for say bool allow declare or assign. And we'll check it here. And we'll check it here. Okay. Okay, so now, and most of the time we allow it. We allow it in the init statement, we don't allow it in the post statement. Yeah, it should do it. Okay. Binary up. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Yeah, I was pretty sure this would have. No, actually, no. Read identifier statement. Oh, I see. So it didn't used to have, but now it needs to have because we call it in two new places. And now resolve statement would also take a false here. Okay, and one other thing is queue functions. So now there's another set of functions that we always have to fucking update. And here I just need the for scope because the rest cannot have functions in it. Okay. And now we should get our for loop, I hope. So post is of kind identifier up and the scope is actually still null. Fuck. Okay. So what is my lecture current? It's an open brace. Okay, so we oh, it doesn't accept it. That's interesting. It's very curious. Alright. Okay. So post statement has to reach too much. Yeah, and that's because it still thinks there should be a semicolon. The weirdest fucking thing is I don't seem to get all of the fucking errors. Oh, I do get them, but I get them fucking. Oh, another function I have to keep supporting is print statement. XD. Yeah, you can see this right after sign expression. And what I would say to that is I'd say sign or identifier up. Okay, so here, what I would say. Doesn't really make much sense. Expected semicolon after a sign expression. So here. Oh. So here we always expected, here we always expected, here we always expected, but here we only expected if allow, declare, or assign. Yeah, it works now. Okay. Okay. So what I will say here is I will say this is done. I will say prints update print statement to handle new statements and expressions. Yeah, okay, that's something for tomorrow. And yeah, that's it for me today. Pretty productive. We have continue, we have break, we have function nesting. And tomorrow I think I'll do native functions. So yeah, it's a pretty nice feeling when it finally fucking works. When it finally fucking compiles. Although I'm sure this still has some error. And I also don't have plus plus yet, so that might be a nuisance, but I don't really like plus plus anyways. It's like a very fucking it's a very weird thing. Actually, that shouldn't be difficult to add. Maybe I just add it now. Can I add it now? I really would want to finish, but it's kinda. Because all that is, it's like it's like when I return an identifier, right? Identifier. This is all that this does. So it also have an identifier post increment or I don't know. Well, okay, that's for tomorrow. I will see you guys next time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow if you come, and if you don't, then I'll see you another day. And yeah, thanks for coming. It's a nice stream. We have for loops, we have break, continue. We already have the all day async stuff, timeline rules, that's from yesterday, and we have nested functions. Yeah, it's pretty epic. So yeah.